I needed to think a lot about how much was I making for that financial year, how much I'd be making the other financial year. Am I going to buy and sell them at a loss or a gain? And where will I be within that taxable income? So it's a really good time to be thinking about that because your taxable income affects so many different parts of your finances, right?
The Get Rich Slow Club podcast is a collaboration between Tash Etchman from Tash Invest and Ana Christina from Perla. The Get Rich Slow Club acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land we record on. From coast to coast, across land, waters, and communities, we pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging. Any advice is general and does not consider your financial situation, needs, or objectives, so consider whether it's appropriate for you.
Welcome to the Get Rich Slow Club podcast,
where we take you from beginner to confident investor,
where we can teach you everything you need to know about investing.
So come get rich slow with us.
Hello and welcome back. Today we've got 8 things to do before the end of financial year. All very exciting things. I know Anna's very excited. The first, money wins, money losses.
So this is a money win, but a life loss.
I'm going to claim credit for that, but yay.
What? I said that too.
Did you say life loss? Okay.
Did you say? Okay. Anyways, we talked about it before the show. I told Tash that I bought from Temu.
Terrible. Not terrible. I was a bit shocked. I didn't expect this from you.
I know, because I feel like I'm so ethical, or not so ethical, but I try to be quite ethical.
It's at the front of your mind.
Comes to my purchases. Yeah. I want to be a conscious consumer and I try really, really hard. So yeah. Anyways, I am going on a family trip, as you know, and I'm trying to buy a couple little things for the kids for the trip on the plane to keep them entertained. Anyhow, there are these specific little blocks that are like Minecraft. Do you know what Minecraft is?
I know, I've played Minecraft, yeah.
Okay, cool. So they're like little blocks that are magnetic and they kind of like connect to each other. My kids really love blocks. They like building, they like magnets. So it kind of fits all the thing. And I looked online and most of these are, you get maybe 50 to 100 for somewhere around $80. Like, so it's a lot. And 50 blocks isn't a lot. You can't like build a lot. And then I had a mom friend say that she bought it on Temu and they're pretty good. And she sent me the link. So this was like one of those things where I'm like, well, how much does it cost? And it was something like $12 or $16. I was like, oh man, like it's such an ethical dilemma. But also I know I'm not going to just buy 50 of them. I'm going to buy like 200 of them. You know what I mean? Anyhow, so this was my first time signing up to Temu. God, do I hate it. It is like you sign up and this spinny wheel thing goes and it's like you saved, 100%. Try again. You get three free gifts. And then you're like, oh, cool. Like I'm going to go look at all these gifts. And then you pick all the gifts that I thought were great. And then it's like, great. In order to get those 3 free gifts, you need to spend $85.
$85 on Temu feels like a lot.
Oh, and because I think that what I picked was the equivalent of $85. Do you get what I'm saying? So it is all psychological marketing to get you to spend more, to get those dopamine hits. But to be honest, I'm not a shopper. I hate shopping. I hate online shopping. So this was giving me anxiety. And I was like, I just want to buy these damn blocks. Leave me alone. I almost gave up. I almost was like, I'm going to pay the $80 for whatever, 50. Like, I'm just so angry. But in the end, I ended up finding them. Thank God it was a link. Like I didn't have to search around. And somehow I got like an extra something off. So it was, I don't remember what the total was. Let's say it was like $26 that I was going to pay total. It ended up being something like $12.
Wow.
I don't know where this discount came from because I was so angry, just like punching the little circle thing going. You can hear me. I'm angry about Temu.
Crazy.
I just wanted to just purchase the thing and be done with it. So I somehow got an extra something percentage off. I didn't get my free gifts because I wasn't willing to spend that money. So another circle spinny thing popped up. Anyhow.
Have you got the blocks yet?
No.
Okay.
So, this mom friend said that it's going to take a couple weeks to get sent. It's not Amazon. It's not Amazon Prime or whatever. It doesn't show up the next day, but I got it. So I will let you know if it is a money loss and a life loss or just a money win and life loss.
Will you buy from there again?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, that's good.
No, the only reason was because it was a specific thing, right? Like it was something specific and she said it was decent quality. Because that's another reason why I wouldn't want to buy from Temu. I don't want to buy crap that's going to break right away. Yeah. So, but I feel ethically very dirty.
Yes, I have still never bought from Temu and Shein.
I haven't bought from Shein either.
Just because I don't like how much stuff they produce and how they market to people, and just like how it kind of encourages people to buy a lot more. Like you watch these Shein hauls online and there's people who are like, they pull the bags upside down and there's just like all of these clothes. And it's like, oh, I spent $500 at Shein, which is just crazy. And they've got so many different things and it's like almost single use clothing, which I don't like. And I feel like it's so easy if it's only $12 to be like, oh, just buy this other thing. And I got these 3 other random free things and I'll do all this to get free stuff. So I don't like that side of it, but I understand more and more people are using it.
I feel, what you're saying, exactly it. It's the wanting to be a conscious consumer, which is why having someone say, hey, it was good quality and it's cheap and I know it'll be used over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Made me feel better about it. But
still conscious, I guess. Yeah.
So I feel dirty. I feel bad about it, but I did it.
You did it. Fun.
Well, the equivalent was paying, $200.
Yeah. It hasn't gotten to me yet, but the ads are definitely there. Like when you search for something these days, a lot of Shein and Temu ads pop up that look really decent. So it is getting more and more tempting to try it out, but I'm holding firm.
Yeah, but I also just don't spend a lot of money. Like I don't buy a lot of junk. I don't buy a lot of clothes. I try to be a conscious consumer. So yeah, I do feel dirty.
Yes.
Anyways, that was my money win, life loss.
Okay. Number 1, what's the first thing we should be doing before the end of financial year?
A really big one is actually looking at your super and whether you want a salary sacrifice. So often contributions made before the end of financial year may reduce your taxable income, and you can make concessional contributions. So these are before tax contributions up to $30,000 per year. So including your employer super as well.
So you can either consider a one-off voluntary contribution to try and reduce your tax maybe, or if you're a lower income earner, you might want to take advantage of the government's co-contributions where you might get $500 or something like that. So have a look at what you might be eligible for and see if you can do that before the end of financial year.
That's super important because I think when I was on parental leave, I completely forgot that I could do the government co-contribution. And if I just put, $500 in, the government would have put money in as well. So now is a really good time to take a look at that, think about that. I, in the past, have done some salary sacrificing as well. And I strategically kind of waited until the end of the year. So around June, being like, how much money has been contributed into my super? How much more how much will it offset my income? So now is like the time to be thinking about that, because once the new year starts, you won't be able to take advantage of it until next financial year.
Yes.
So definitely do that.
Unless there are like the bring forward rules as well, or like the catch up rules too. But you can talk to an accountant about that because it can get very complex.
It can, but the big thing is go check in on your super, go log in, see how much room you still have, see whether it's worth it for you to contribute this financial year. So that is definitely an important one.
Number 2 fits really well under this one. Consider the First Home Super Saver Scheme contribution. So if you're saving for your first home, voluntary super contributions can be very tax effective, but it is for each financial year. So if you're thinking about using this scheme, good time to think about it now.
Yeah. So you can contribute each year $15,000 towards the First Home Super Saver Scheme, and you can pull out $50,000 eventually within that. So it's going to take you at least 4 years to be able to contribute into that, right?
Yeah. But when you did it in June and then July. So you got 30 grand in like kind of in the one calendar year, but 2 financial years.
So I did something that I wouldn't maybe recommend for everyone, but I was in a situation where I had a lot of savings outside of my super. And I thought, hey, right now it's June, I might as well do this. So what I did do is I talked to my employer a few months before the end of financial year, and I asked if I could put 100% of my income straight into my super as salary sacrifice. So I was living off of my savings, but it was much of a muchness. It was just like an accounting thing. So instead of me getting paid from my job, I actually was like living off of my savings. So 100% of my income was going straight into my super as salary sacrifice. And I ensured that it was calculated up until the $15K threshold of the First Home Super Saver. And then I did the exact same thing in July for the next couple months in the new financial year to make sure that I had that amount also contributed for the First Home Super Saver.
And the important thing here is the timing. So if you accidentally wait until July and you're like, oh no, I can only put in 15,000 now, I need to wait a whole nother year, that might set you back a bit.
Yeah. And it was great that I did that because I think we ended up purchasing in October or something later that year.
Awesome.
So had I waited another year, like you would
have missed out.
Yeah, timing wouldn't have worked. So it's a really great time to think about the first home super saver contribution. So maybe not in the way that I did it, where it was like zero income coming in, but now is a really good time to look at it, think about whether you can contribute to it, because the first home super saver scheme is a really great way to get into the housing market, and it can also reduce your taxable income.
We love reducing our taxable income. Yeah, saving money.
So that's a really big one.
Number 3 is maximize your tax deductions. So start thinking about any of your work-related expenses, tools, uniforms, home office equipment, any donations to charity. And you can also prepay some expenses as well to claim them this year if you've had a high income year this year than you think you might next year.
Yeah, this is a really good one as well. I know last year we bought, was it last year or the year before, we bought like desks for our office, and because we work from home. So it was a really good time. And often you find sales around this time of year.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking ahead of time, like we don't advocate spending money just for the sake of getting a tax deduction. Don't do that. But if you know you're going to be buying it anyways, thinking about strategically, does it make more sense to buy it on this side of the financial year or within the new financial year?
Yeah. And if you are a small business owner or a sole trader, you have the instant asset write-off as well. So you can be like, oh no, maybe I've actually hit my cap for this year, so I might wait for next year and hope it comes back in. You can kind of view it that way too.
Yeah. I heard of companies maybe purchasing like a company car, like before.
Maybe don't go and do that.
Yeah. Not there yet, but nonetheless, it's just something to think about as well. Maybe there's courses that you need to take or any of that stuff. It's a really good time to be thinking about that, especially at the end of financial year.
Number 4, review investment performance and consider any capital gains or losses. If you're thinking about selling for some reason, have a look at your total income, decide whether you should sell this year or next year, maybe. Good time to think about that.
Yeah, I thought a lot about this. In my last job, I had a lot of options within the company. So what ends up happening is sometimes you join a company and they give you shares in the company or options to buy those shares. So I had to think strategically quite a bit about when do I want to purchase those shares. So I could buy them at like zero or a very cheap price. When would I purchase them? But then when I would sell them. So I needed to think a lot about how much was I making for that financial year, how much I'd be making in the other financial year. Am I going to buy and sell them at a loss or a gain? And where will I be within that taxable income? So it's a really good time to be thinking about that, because your taxable income affects so many different parts of your finances, right? Like we need to think about super. You want to think about your Medicare levy surcharge. You want to think about, is it going to affect your childcare subsidy or parental payments? Like these are all things that I wish I did better accounting of ahead of time, because I sold a bunch of shares and that really deeply impacted
everything else.
So yes. Huge advocate of running the numbers and thinking about that before June 30th.
You've slid into number 5 very nicely. Health insurance and Medicare levy surcharge. So if you earn above the certain threshold, around 93,000, and don't have private hospital cover, you may have to pay the Medicare levy surcharge. So if this is you, consider taking eligible cover before the end of financial year if you're close to the threshold.
Yeah, it's a really good time to actually look at all of your insurances. And this is such a big one. Often you'll even get ads from the private health insurances trying to target you. So it's a good time to kind of look at everything, have an idea of what your income is going to be for this and next year, and whether you need to adjust anything as well.
Number 6, family tax benefits and childcare subsidy. Kind of goes into what you were just talking about.
Oh, absolutely. So a lot of the family tax benefits and childcare subsidy, and also if you're looking to get paid parental leave, all depends on your income. So it depends on your income, your family income. So it's a really good time to sit down, run the numbers, and think of all of the income that you have. So not just your jobs, but are you getting dividends paid out? Are you planning on selling a rental property?
Are there interest in your savings account? That one slides through.
Yeah, interest in your savings account. Absolutely. Any of your affiliate links from Amazon.
Yes. Yeah.
Any payments that you're getting. But it's really important to kind of have a holistic understanding of what your income is, especially if you're really close to the different marginal tax breaks. Like if you're really close to being in a higher taxable income, it might be a good chance to kind of look at the numbers and make sure that you're within the threshold that you're looking at. Because childcare subsidy, for example, is on a sliding scale, and the higher the income, the less you get subsidized. So having an understanding of that is really, really important. Yeah, I had a lot of spreadsheets doing this, but I missed a couple things along the way because I didn't know. And you learn.
We all live and learn. Yes.
Yeah.
Sharing our mistakes so you can avoid them.
Absolutely.
Number 7, keep receipts and organize records. I am terrible at this one. I really don't enjoy this. So what I do now is I take photos of them. So they're all in my phone if I need them.
Do you have them in a folder?
Not always.
Okay.
But they're there. I try to, but often I will just forget or not bother. So I've got the photos there if I need to. So if I get audited, I can sit down and spend a week going through them, but I try and put them in a folder, or sometimes I was trying to like put them on my accounting software, but it was just like too many extra steps.
Yeah, it's a lot of accounting to do all that, like using Xero or whatever it might be.
But find whatever it is for you, whether you like just write it in your notes app, being like work expense, or like I'm claiming this or claiming that, whatever it is, find what works for you and just do it. How do you do yours?
Yeah. I have a drawer at home where I chuck all my receipts in. I'll come home and just like chuck it in there. But I've been trying to take more photos as well, because there's been a couple times where I'm like, I cannot find that. Or I found a very faded receipt that was a taxi from like the airport. And I was like, no, I know it's $87 because it's, I see it on my Visa or my credit card, but I can't make it out because it got faded in the sun.
Oh no. Yes, put them away.
Yeah. So it's really important to kind of have an understanding of that, track all that. And also just have like, if you're doing your personal taxes, like I know, for example, like I'll donate to charities. As soon as I'll do it, I'll put it straight into my Excel doc so that I can track it. So I'm like, okay, great. This is a deduction that I get, or this is an expense that I had, because if not, I'm going to forget about it, because I kind of donate throughout the year. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I missed out on some of those deductions.
I'm more of like a reviewer, and then I find things. So it'll be tax time, and then I'll go back through my bank statements and be like, okay, what was this? What can I claim? So I'm sure I miss stuff doing it that way, but then I try and like opt for digital receipts. So I can go and be like, oh, Apple or JB Hi-Fi or something like that, and find it that way. But things will like definitely be missed.
Yeah, it's super helpful. I think sometimes if I'm doing things on my computer, it's really easy to get the PDF of the receipt, and then I put it in a specific folder, because I know like for tax time, future tax time, because I had to be really on it when I was doing taxes in Canada and in Australia. It was really complex. Now that I'm only doing taxes here, it's
a lot easier.
It's a lot easier, but I've become more relaxed and not as on it.
It takes a lot of mental space sometimes. So find whatever works for you.
Yeah, for sure.
And number 8, review your budget and set your goals. The end of financial year is a natural time to review your spending, track your net worth, and set new savings or investment goals for the next year. I find we're often so excited in January. So July and June can be another like get excited time.
Yeah. And it should be. One of the things I need to change, for the longest time, I had my net worth start in January, because in Canada, the taxable year is January to December, and here it's not. So I need to change all of my spreadsheets to actually kind of start in July, to get more excited about it, to think about it as a financial year as opposed to January, because I find it hard to get excited about, June, July.
Yeah. I feel like we need another like October. Like October's goal setting month or something like that. So you can have the energy throughout the year.
Yeah.
We need to get onto like the quarters maybe, when everyone does their BAS statements for all the business owners.
Oh my gosh, yeah. We should do a quarterly review.
Yay.
I mean, I do it for sometimes personal stuff, do the quarterly review, but it's really important. Do you do your goal setting in June, July, or do you do it January, or like
whenever I feel like it?
Whenever you feel like it.
Yeah. Whenever I'm motivated.
Yeah.
To set a goal.
Yeah. I think it's really good to do it in June, July, especially if you're thinking about using the First Home Super Saver or Super, because you need to run those numbers and you need to know what your income is. So it's a good time to think about that.
Yeah, you don't want to have to wait a whole nother year if you can avoid it by doing something a week earlier.
Yeah, and I think that this financial year is going to be a very interesting one, because we've definitely spent more money in terms of holidays and all of those things. So it's going to be very hard in July. Very fun.
Yes.
Very fun to be like, oh, this is the spending and savings.
Yay, fun. Bye.
Thanks so much for joining us. If you found this episode helpful, please rate us 5 stars, write a review, or share with a friend. If you're new to investing, make sure to listen to our first 10 episodes. Follow us at Get Rich Slow Club, or Tash at Tash Invest, or me at Ana Cristina.
This show was brought to you by Natasha Etchman, who is an authorised representative, 1299881 of Guideway Financial Services, AFSL 420367, and Perla, who is an authorised representative, 1281540 of Sanlam Private Wealth, AFSL 337927. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to investing. So make sure you check out our financial services guides and read the product disclosure statement and target market determination for any investments you're considering. See our show notes for more info.